Hello, everybody. Welcome back to ESL Show. This is yet another news article video in which we discuss the headline and the news article and discuss some vocabulary. And if at all there is anything like language item, we'll discuss that too. Okay, let's get into this. Now, the headline of this article is Lungs brought from Madurai to Chennai in 76 minutes. Now, this headline, Lungs brought from Madurai to Chennai in 76 minutes, is in passive voice. But the thing is, it does not have passive B forms. That's why you can see that on the screen. Lungs brought from Madurai is actually lungs were brought from Madurai. Were is not given here. That is what happens in news headlines. Okay, now let's move to the next one here. Please ensure a smooth passage. Ensure. Okay, let's have a look at that one here. Ensure. So ensure means to make sure that something happens properly and perfectly. Now, the police people made arrangements to make sure that the transportation of lungs from one hospital to another hospital happened properly. That is what they made sure of. Now, let's look at a few examples based on this word ensure. Okay, here is the first one. The hospital tries to ensure that people are seen quickly. The hospital tries to ensure that people are seen quickly. It means they get the consultation of the doctor quickly, and then they get the required treatment quickly, and they can leave the hospital then. Okay, now let's look at one more example with the word ensure. We must take steps now to ensure the survival of these animals. Maybe the speaker is talking about the extinction of animals. We must take steps now to ensure, to make sure the survival of these animals happens. Now we have one more word here from this. Please ensure smooth passage. Now here passage is actually the movement of people or vehicles along a road or across an area of land. Now when these lungs were being brought from Madurai to Chennai, that is called, the movement is called passage. And the movement of the vehicles happened smoothly. Now, let's move to the main part of the article. Let me read this first. The lungs of a 29-year-old man who was declared brain dead after a road accident were brought from a private hospital in Madurai to Chennai in 76 minutes on Friday and transplanted in a patient at Fortis Hospital in Vadapalani here. The lungs of a 29-year-old man who was declared brain dead. Now, what is brain dead? Get this here. If a person is brain dead, he or she is in a state where their brain has stopped working properly, or even though heart may still be working, a heart may still be beating. So this is brain dead. Now let's move to the next one here. Transplant. To move an organ or a piece of skin from one person's body and put it into another as form of medical treatment. That is transplant, and the noun form is transplantation. Okay, that is it, moving an organ. Here, lungs were moved from one person's body to another person, from a brain dead person's body to another person. Okay, let's move further and then see what we have. Now, we have an example sentence with this one. Actually, we have two example sentences. Surgeons have successfully transplanted a liver into a 4-year-old boy. Surgeons have successfully transplanted a liver into a 4-year-old boy. Let's look at one more example. The operation to transplant a kidney is now completely routine. It has become quite common, quite normal. The operation to transplant a kidney is now completely routine. Okay, let's move further in the article. Let me read this for you. A release by the hospital said that a green corridor was formed with the help of the police, which ensured that the road travel between the hospitals and the airports in both the cities together took just 21 minutes. That's wonderful. A release by the hospital said that a green corridor was formed with the help of the police. Now, what is release here? It's a noun here. The meaning is an official statement or an official report, etc. that contains information about somebody or something, or a situation or an event, anything. So that's a noun. So what is a green corridor? So what was set up? Green corridor was set up, was formed. What is it? Let's look at green corridor here. So green corridor is a special route that is managed in a way that all the traffic signals that come in the route of the hospital where an organ is harvested and the hospital where it is to be transplanted are green and controlled manually. The traffic lights are always green so that the vehicles that carry the organs, harvested organs, I mean organs removed from a brain dead person's body, they are called harvested organs. Now they are being moved, and then the vehicles should not be stopped, and that's why the traffic signals are always green, and that is called green corridor, and that was formed with the help of the police. Okay, now let's move further. The 29-year-old donor, who is survived by his pregnant wife and parents, was on ventilator support after sustaining severe injuries in a road accident. The 29-year-old donor. Let's look at the word donor here. A person who gives blood or a part of his or her body to be used by doctors in medical treatment. Now here, the person who was brain dead donated, of course, with the consent, with the permission from the family. The lungs were donated. It's body parts. It's not blood. Okay, who is survived by his pregnant wife. Look at this here, be survived by. So who is survived by means who has. Now this man who donated the lungs is survived by his pregnant wife and parents. It means he has a wife who is pregnant, and he has his parents. Now this man was on ventilator support after sustaining severe injuries in a road accident. On a ventilator support. Now let's look at this machine which is used medically. Ventilator is a piece of medical equipment with a pump that helps somebody to breathe by sending air in and out of their lungs. Now for people whose lungs are damaged and do not work properly, this machine can really help them breathe in and breathe out. Okay. If the ventilator support is not provided, when the lungs are damaged, the person may die immediately. Okay, that is ventilator. You can have a look at the picture on the screen, ventilator. Okay, now this man was on ventilator support after sustaining severe injuries. Now let's look at sustain here. Now sustain means to suffer damage, or to suffer an injury, or to suffer a loss of money. Now here, it can be damage or an injury. Now this man received severe injuries. Now he suffered severe injuries in a road accident, and as a result, he was declared brain dead. Okay, this is it. Now let's look at example sentences with the word sustain. A tourist sustained injuries in the bomb blast and died. A tourist sustained, it means he suffered or he received injuries in the bomb blast and died. And let's look at one more example here with the word sustain. Some nearby buildings sustained minor damage. This is about damage, but no injuries, because injuries do not happen to buildings. So it's damage that happened to them. Some nearby buildings sustained minor damage. Okay, that's it. Okay, that's it in this video. I hope you have learned some vocabulary, and we have also had a look at some example sentences in proper context to understand those words. I hope you enjoyed learning these things. Thank you very much for watching this video. I'll see you in my next video. Until then, take care. Bye.